of you have heard that possibly within the next 2 to 3 years, there's going to be a crash from the AI bubble? And I saw an article that was rather staggering. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints disclosed that they have an equity portfolio that reached an all-time high of nearly $60.9 billion, up from $58.4 billion their previous quarter, more than doubled its pandemic low of $29.8 billion in earlier 2020. 1,697 holdings, unchanged from the prior quarter, a rare stability, including major tech names like Microsoft, Apple, Meta, and Amazon. So when this crash does happen, I've heard a lot about, different companies and unsecured loans. It's going to be major. And now to think that some of these large churches are also involved in the investment. Hi, everyone. I'm Mary with Mary Greeley News. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to dive deeper into this subject, and it's rather scary. AI data centers are massive facilities filled with thousands or tens of thousands of high-performance GPUs that run AI workloads 24/7. The primary way they create income is by selling AI computing power, essentially renting out GPU time to companies and developers who need it for training or running AI models. Nvidia dominates this market, more than 90% of its shares in AI accelerators. So almost all the money flows through their hardware. Direct sales of hardware, big tech companies such as Microsoft, Azure, Amazon AWS, Google Cloud, Meta, and Oracle, and AI startups buy Nvidia GPUs in huge quantities. The AI infrastructure boom is increasingly funded or fueled by debt, including secured loans and unsecured loans. Riskier structures that behave like unsecured high leverage borrowing from private credit, off balance sheet deals, payments in kind interest. Purely unsecured loans, no collateral, are rare in big AI bundles, but many deals are effectively high risk because collateral, GPUs, the chips, depreciates faster, the new generation every 1 to 2 years, or relies on future speculative revenue. As of late this year, 2025, AI-related debt has exploded. Data centers secured a debt up to 112%. YOY is 25 billion or more in private credit for AI, nearly doubled. And total projected AI debt could hit $1 trillion or more by 2028, excuse me. That's according to Morgan Stanley. This isn't mostly from cash-rich hyperscalers anymore. It's smaller players and speculative providers taking the leverage. Now, according to Gork, boom sales, unsecured high-risk loans accelerate growth. Debt lets companies scale much faster than equity alone, turning the AI race into a land grab. CoreWeave has invested over $29 billion in GPU-backed debt to expand. It became a top AI cloud provider overnight. Meta has between 27 to 30 billion off balance, debts that they've invested. They made deals with a private credit called Blue Owl for data centers. Lenders keep Nvidia chips as collateral. Nvidia's market cap is $3.5 trillion. In a continued hype environment like now, this debt acts like rocket fuel. Hyperscalers, leverage players are committing $400 billion and over for 2026 alone. Now, if AI revenues disappoints, such as their projected models don't deliver predictivity gains fast enough, the debt will become the Achilles heel. and then the debt would cause a cascading effect. There is suggestion that the crash would be worse than what happened in 2008. If that was to happen, Nvidia revenue could drop 50 to 80% in just one quarter. The bottom line, the debt, especially the risky chip-backed kind, is supercharging the boom right now, but creates asymmetric downside. It's not 1999.com. Mostly equity, weak companies, hyperscalers are profitable right now, but the leverages picks and shovels layer, such as core weaver style, could make any pop much messier and faster than people expect. So you need to watch the private credit spreads and GPUs resale prices for any sign of early warning. Um, the sales for the chips would just plummet. The cost, what you would pay for the chips, would plummet. Right now, the train is still going 100 miles an hour uphill with no brakes in sight. A lot of the debts are held by banks, pension funds, private credit, insurance companies. It spills into the economy. Morgan Stanley could exceed $1 trillion in stress on the financial system if the losses occur. $1 trillion in Morgan Stanley alone. JP Morgan Chase leads many core weave facilities, syndicated AI linked loans. They have high exposure to the AI sector. More information about Morgan Stanley. Co-leads core weaver debt. Structure Meta Oracle deals estimated between $5 and $7 trillion total AI funding. Goldman Sachs, Barclays, Citi, Deutsche Bank, Wells Fargo, and many others are involved in the core weave data center lending. Major private credit, one would be Blackstone. It's evidently the largest player for lead core weaver of $7.5 billion for facilities. Meta, 27 to maybe $30 billion off the books balance sheet for building these data centers. Off the books means unsecured. Private credit, that would be your pension funds, insurance company investing in this investment. It has nearly doubled this year. Data center debt issuance has been growing at about 1.2%, or about $25 billion. Now, all they got is chips for collateral. That's it, chips. And they get old. They got to be replaced every 1 to 2 years. Many of these loans are secured by Nvidia GPU chips that depreciate fast, anywhere from 50 to 80% per generation, making them effectively high risk if AI demand slows down. So I looked up the private insurance company and pension funds that are involved in the AI data center GPU-backed loans as of this month of this year. Apollo Global Management, Athena Life Annuity Insurer. They are one of the largest buyers of private credit in billions of dollars into the AI data center. Blackstone, their insurance arm, Resolution Life, has invested over $70 billion. Ares Management has invested $15 billion and more. It's an insurance platform, heavy lender into the AI data centers. Blue Owl Capital, formerly known as Owl Rock, KKR. They owns Global Atlantic Insurer. They're also active in AI infrastructure credit. Billions of dollars by them have been allocated to private credit, including, the data centers. Brookfield, they're a large insurance, they got an arm for, insurance companies, and they've invested a lot of money too, I guess. Canadian Pension Plan, they have a significant private debt exposure, including digital infrastructure. They've invested over $20 billion in infrastructure and private debt. Not a debt from a bank. It's it's your insurance money that you're paying premiums on every month. Ontario Teachers Pension Plan. Oh, you think your pension plan for being a teacher there in Ontario, Canada is so safe? They invested the money to Blackstone and Ayers and Blue Owl. Yeah, so they're a third party investor. Teacher Retirement System of Texas, U.S. Pension Fund. Their exposure is Viva Apollo and Blackstone. MetLife. They're evidently a growing private credit. They're investing money into the digital infrastructure. Prudential, U.S. life insurer. They've invested over $10 billion, giving them private yeah, loans. Now, according to Gork, total insurance capital in private credit is anywhere between 10 to 20% that's being invested for the AI data centers. Whereas the pension funds are mostly LPs and the big private credit funds above that I listed, they're not directly related as a lender. They go through other parties, like I said, the different banks and BlackRock and etc. The riskiest slice of AI financing is increasingly sitting on the balance sheets of life insurers and pension funds. If there is ever a wave of defaults or forced GPU sales, these conservative institutions will feel the pain, which is why regulators are starting to watch it closely. They haven't been in the past, but now they're starting to take a peek. I think too little, too late. And so what I found out too was the Seventh-day Adventist Church is probably one of the largest investors, 15 to $20 billion. The Catholic Knights of Malta, which is a sovereign military order of Malta, they evidently are invested not very much. Some of the Catholic Church, the smaller dossiers, have invested. They have top 10 holdings in the Nvidia. Yeah, this search all started because LDS Church stands out as the most investor recently into this bubble. Yeah, and we know what happens with bubbles. So, what are your thoughts? Yeah, I'm surprised that teacher funds and pensions and, yeah, your insurance companies are so deeply involved in this. What are your thoughts? Put your comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.